Morning to you, Maya. Thanks, as always, for being our personal guru that we can always call for such questions. And let's get into it. I mean, many parents fund their children's education through credit cards or even personal loans. Should they be considering student loan instead?
I come across this quite often. I see parents who put their kids' school fees on their credit cards, personal loans, and I ask them why, and they say, well, I don't want to burden my child with a student loan. It's my responsibility to educate my child. But what they don't realize is that a student loan is so much more cost effective. The banks price those from prime onwards, whereas your credit card, you're starting at 17, 18% up to in the 20s if you're taking out a personal loan. So, you know, it's a lot more cost effective to take a student loan. And then whilst the student is studying, you only have to pay the interest. You don't have to even start paying the capital. So it makes it a lot more affordable from a cash flow perspective. And a parent can still do that. A parent can still pay the interest. Even if they want to, they can assist the child with the capital repayment if they're in a position to do so. It's just doing it in a far more cost-effective way.
Yeah. So what are the key things someone should know then before taking out a student loan?
I think it's important to understand a couple of things about what the bank looks for. So first of all, if the student is studying and not earning income, then a parent or another adult is going to have to sign surety. And this means that the parent's credit score actually starts to count. And that can sometimes be a problem if the parent's credit score is not good. And then also in terms of who actually takes out the student loan. So for some banks, they say, listen, if the parent is signing surety, the student loan is actually taken out in the parent's name. And other banks say, no, the student loan's in the child's name, even if the parent is signed surety. And I must be honest, I actually prefer that model if I was a student, because I would be then building up a credit record in my name with good credit. I would call student loans good credit as opposed to perhaps something like credit cards. So that's quite an attractive one. And then also just to be aware that you can only borrow for the year of study. And then each year you have to reapply for further loan. But whilst you are still studying, you only need to repay back the interest. The capital portion starts once you start working. And the banks generally give about a 6-month, maybe 12-month grace period once you've started working. But my biggest recommendation is if you have a student loan, you start working, please prioritize that repayment before you start taking on other credit. Otherwise, you will end up finding that you're paying off that student loan over the next 10 years. So that would also be definitely my tip of the day.
Very sound tip and advice there. Thank you so much. Personal finance guru Maya Fisher-French.